everyone, welcome to this month's Stretch the Sketch. This is the sketch that I'm going to be working with along with the talented ladies that are listed in the description box below. And what I'm doing for this sketch this week, this month, is I'm actually going to do a double page 6x8 spread. I happen to have a binder that is that size from Close to My Heart that I have used as my cat scrapbook. So I have a few pictures of my cat Pantouf that I am going to scrapbook on that today. So I'm using a beautiful little kit. I looked everywhere for this. I couldn't find it anywhere, and then I ended up getting it on sale at my local scrapbook shop. It's by Photoplay and it's called Cat Lover. And I love the colors of this. It's really kind of cute. So because it has lots of brown in it, I decided to go with starting this on a craft paper rather than going with white. I just thought it would be a lot more fun and bring out these really vibrant colors in the kit. And then it would go really well with this. So I've already pre-cut my papers, and I am just going to start layering them down. And the sketch had several layers of paper, and then also having the photos backed and things like that. I'm limiting myself a little bit to the amount of double matting and things like that. But I am going for a layered effect. And so I love the striped paper for that. Of course, I could have cut out the middle of the striped paper if I wanted to. I'm not really concerned about saving this. I know that I'm not going to get through this stash that quickly. So and there's always cute, you know, cat and dog kits that come out every year. So I'm just going to use up what I can. So I have this particular paper, and I'm just trying to figure out the placement. I don't want to leave too much room on the side, on the right hand side, but I want to have enough room for a couple of cut aparts that I took from the kit. So that those are actually going to be replaced by replacing the circles that you saw on the sketch. So the page, so this page mat is going to overlay this 6x8, both of them, and I'll cut them down afterwards. But I'm just going to line them up and then keep the entire spread together until I'm ready to separate the pages again. I want to say thanks for being here this month, and make sure, like I said, to follow the ladies that are down in the description box for the YouTube hop and also the Instagram hop to see what they've done and their take on these sketches. I've already seen a couple of them and they're really creative. So make sure that you check them out. I'm sure they'd all appreciate it. If this is your first time here being with my channel, I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining me today. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. And if you do, click the notification bell so that you'll be notified of my future videos. That way you won't miss them in your feed. So I've pretty much got the lineup of the photos the way that I want them. They go from youngest to oldest. And so I'm just going to start gluing them down. I'm not popping up the pictures or the papers. I will be doing the elements or the embellishments and popping up some of those. You'll see where I choose to do that. I really do like the little white fishbone paper behind these photos though, because I find it really is adorable that way. But here's the cut aparts, and what I did so that they're not quite, you know, it follows a little bit more of the sketch, is I decided to round the corner on these so that they're more of like a softer piece. They're separated from the papers, but those are going to be like the main embellishments. And while in this sketch you see the journaling is there on the left, I am going to journal onto this cut apart with the cat on the bed. And this Happiness is a Worm Cat is going to be the place of my title. It's larger than it was in the sketch, and I don't have it layered the exact same way, but I am going to add some cute little embellishments and make that a simple layout that way. So this kit has a ton of stickers, and then I've also pulled out a pack of Jolene stickers that are paw prints, and I'm going to use those as dimensional embellishments on this to give give some extra dimension. What I'm doing right now is I'm taking some stickers off the sheet and I'm hitting the back of it with an anti-static pouch. And what that does is it takes the stickiness away from the stickers, and that way I can move them around my layout and play with them like they were die cuts. And I'm not committed to where they're going to be. So I'm going to stick with just a few embellishments. I'm going to use quite a bit of those. I'm going to use the entire package of the Jolene stickers eventually. And I do like this little quote on this one, on this little tag, so I think that's going to take place over on the right hand side to sort of balance out the layout a little bit more. But I really love the brightness of this kit. I'm not usually an orange person, but I do love the teal and all the details. And so I'm just going to play around with where I think I'm going to put these embellishments. I want this to just sort of overlap that that one strip of paper, and then I've got these little labels. I think that I'm going to put them around different spots. So I like doing this with the anti-static pouch. And I think I got that tip from Missy Wyden. And it's one of the best ones. I use it all the time. So I'm doing a little bit of clustering to the right of the photos. Not too much, but I am doing a little bit there because I do want to balance off that craft. I don't want that being so blank on there. Because the cut aparts on the left hand side are so big, I am going to do just a little cluster down at the bottom there. And then I'm also going to play around a little bit with the placement and figure out where I want things. Here I'm just cutting a banner that's going to go at the top, kind of in the center, but not quite. And that is part of the sketch. So I decided to stick with it. And it's kind of in a different kind of a spot. I didn't want to put it too close to the orange and overlap the paper, because then it would be cutting the banner in half. So I've got the banner right up to the edge of the paper, and I'm just going to start embellishing that with some of the stickers. So these little stickers are wonderful. The larger ones are quite dimensional, and the smaller little orange ones are a chipboard. So they work out pretty well with this. I really do like the way that it turned out. So as much as I didn't plan on having most of the embellishments be orange, they do end up looking that way. And I kind of like the way it turned out because it kind of balanced it. Now this little sticker here called Cat Lady, it's a little too narrow for some pop-up foam. So what I've done is I've taken dimensional pop-up squares and I've cut them in half. And that way they will fit on the page or fit on the embellishment. So that's just a little tip for you in case you're wondering. I could have taken some dimensional foam and cut down the middle of that, but I just find that it's often too sticky for my scissors, whereas the little paper squares are easier to cut and layer as well. So I'm just popping up some of the embellishments with some foam. I love this little kitty cat with the whiskers sticking out, just adorable. And I'm gonna start putting down some of them. I'm gonna try to keep the clusters small, but I do end up sort of on the left hand side making it look as if the cat has sort of walked up the page, I guess, with the paw prints. I thought that would be kind of a cute little touch. So as you know, I have my one cat, Whiskey now. Pantouf passed away in November, so I'm trying to document as many of her pictures as I can. And I have my dog that I document a lot. I know it's kind of silly, might be to some people silly to scrapbook your pets, but they really are my fur babies. So I want to try to make some dedicated albums to them. And then also scrapbook my husband and I with them as well, as where I can. If you have pets, have you scrapbooked them? And do you scrapbook your pet pictures chronologically with your other album layouts, or do you have a dedicated album to them? I'd be interested in hearing that. I'd also be interested in hearing what is the strangest pet you've ever seen in a layout. That would be kind of interesting because I know people have all kinds of things. Somebody that I know has had a hedgehog at one point, and she used to, that used to be her little craft buddy. I know people have scrapbooked, of course, their cats, their dogs. I've seen guinea pigs. What's the strangest that you've ever seen? I'd be interested in hearing that. And I've dabbed some, this is the Shimmer Paints Vibes in Seize the Day, just to give some splatter, because I do like a little bit of grunge. And then I'm just going to take the whole page, turn it upside down. I'm cutting the back first, and then I'll flip it over and cut the front. I want to make sure that I have as much as I can cut through that way. And you'll see that the little paw print ends up being in my way. So I will end up removing that and putting it back because it's in the way of the cutter. Didn't count on that, but anyhow. So, but I tried to stick to the sketch as much as possible in terms of the layering ideas. But where I differed with mine was really that the circle embellishment that you saw on the left-hand side, I've made those into the cut aparts and use those instead. But I am, however, going to journal on the page still. So that big one that is up at the top, the big orange cut apart, that's where I'm going to actually start doing some of my journaling there, because it's got all this sort of white space underneath that wording, the saying that says first they take your heart, then they take your bed, then they steal your bed. So I'm going to put the journaling in here, and just a little bit about Pantouf. She was never really that cuddly a cat. When I had her as a kitten, she didn't like to be on my lap or anything, which I thought was kind of funny, because I thought having a cat would be like, oh, cuddles, but she cuddled once in a while, but it was on her terms. You know what I'm saying? She was very much the diva cat. She wasn't mean or anything, but once she's, if you were going to pet her, once she was done, she was done. My other cat, Whiskey, he's the one who's the cuddle bug. He always wants to be on my lap if I'm on the couch. He always wants to sleep in our bed with us, and have his little cat nap that way with us. So totally different from what I expected. So it was kind of, I thought it was kind of appropriate to take these photos of Pantouf and actually scrapbook what they look like. So here's the sketch versus my layout, and here are some of the close-ups. I hope that you enjoyed this. Again, visit all the gals that are in the description box to make sure that you watch their videos, because super talented ladies, let me tell you. And I really appreciate you being here. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for my next videos. Have a great one.